happened in this 2026 draft wasn't just a selection of names. It was a declaration of war against any attack that dares to test the airspace of Ford Field. The news that's paralyzing the city is that the Detroit Lions just secured Keith Abney II, the cornerback from Arizona State, in the 5th round. And what seemed like just another mid-draft pick is proving to be the biggest steal of the Brad Holmes era. While other teams hesitated over a few inches of height, our general manager went and snagged a guy that Pro Football Focus ranked as a top 50 talent. Yes, you heard right. We're talking about an elite player who fell into our lap while the rest of the league was asleep at the wheel. This isn't just strategy, it's destiny. The pressure on this secondary has been unbearable in recent years. We who bleed blue and silver know what it's like to see a game slip through our fingers because we didn't have enough coverage. But Abney arrives with something you can't teach in training: camps. He arrives with soul. His statement after the draft was enough to give even the coldest fan goosebumps. Seeing a young talent cry tears of joy and say that the Detroit Lions have always been one of his favorite teams, that changes the emotional level of the locker room. He's not here for the money or the contract. He's here because he believes in the culture that Dan Campbell built with sweat and clenched teeth. Abney ignored the fall in the draft because he knows he landed in the right place at the right time. And don't be fooled by his 5'9" height. This kid plays like he's 6 feet tall and has the strength of a tank. His aggressiveness at Arizona State is what caught everyone's attention, and now he brings that nothing gets past us mentality to a defense that's already thirsty for blood. The front office knows that the franchise's future depends on players like him, players who have been underestimated their whole lives and who have a chip on their shoulder bigger than
the state of Michigan. The atmosphere behind the scenes at Allen Park is one of restrained euphoria because they know they caught a shark where everyone else only saw a small fish. Keith Abney II isn't just a reinforcement. He's the symbol that our rebuilding is over and our era of dominance has begun. If the rest of the NFL thinks it's going to be easy to cross our field, they'll have to wait and see what this kid does when he feels the energy of the crowd screaming in his ear. The hunger for victory in Detroit has never been so voracious. And if you think the job is done when the draft ended on Saturday, you don't understand what it means to be a Lions under the command of Campbell and Holmes. The news that has just ignited the backstage is the signing of Amarus, the cornerback from UNLV, who arrives as an undrafted free agent with a reputation that makes any quarterback tremble. He is a true ball hawk. In a surgical move right after the end of the official rounds, the Detroit Lions filled one of the most critical spots on the 90-man roster with a player who simply breathes turnovers. Brown doesn't just play to defend the pass, he plays to take the ball, to change the momentum of the game, and to silence entire stadiums. What Amarus accomplished in his college career, from Kansas State and South Florida to culminating in an absurd season at UNLV, is worthy of top marks. The guy led the nation in interceptions returned for touchdowns, 2 pick-sixes last season. That's not luck, it's killer instinct. Benjamin Raven of MLive already called it. Brown has the knack, that natural gift of being in the right place at the right time to punish the opponent's mistake. He's 5'9", 197 pounds, and flies down the field with a 40-yard dash in 4.53 seconds. Once again, Detroit ignores the league's ideal size standards to focus on what really matters: production, aggression, and the ability to turn a game around in a single play. We're reviving a tradition
that's quintessentially our city. For 15 consecutive years, an undrafted rookie managed to carve out his spot on the final 53-man roster. That streak was broken last year, but the feeling in the halls of Ford Field is that Amarus is the man to usher in a new era of diamonds in the rough. He represents the Detroit worker, the one nobody gave a chance to, but who arrives early and leaves late to prove everyone wrong. The future of our secondary now features an explosive mix of elite technical talent with Abney and pure hunter instinct with Brown. Brad Holmes is playing chess while the others are playing checkers. He's surrounding the roster with hungry players, guys who know that every practice is a battle for survival. The pressure is on.
things are heating up behind the scenes, and the message to the NFC North Division is clear. If you throw towards our cornerbacks, get ready to see the ball return to your end zone in the hands of a lion. The hunt has begun. Look, I'll tell
you, as someone who lives and breathes this team, we're in a special moment. Watching Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell work together is like witnessing a master plan being executed down to the smallest detail. Here's my sidekick perspective on what's happening now in April 2026. 1. Secondary school has become a minefield. We spent years struggling with long passes and poor coverage. Seeing what they've done now in the draft and post-draft with Keith Abney II and Amarus Brown gives me a confidence I haven't had in a long time. Abney II was a total robbery in the 5th round. A guy who was top 50 in the PFF falling to us? That's the kind of luck the old Lions didn't have, but the new Lions attracts. And Brown, man, he's a hawk. If he brings half of that pick-6 instinct to Ford Field, the NFC North offenses are going to have to think twice before throwing it his way. 2. The grit. The claw is real. What I like most is that they're not just looking for athletes. They're looking for lions. Seeing Abney crying on Zoom saying he was a fan of the team and wanted to be here? That's priceless. We don't want mercenaries anymore. We want guys who feel the weight of this jersey and understand that Detroit is a city of hard workers who don't give up. 3. Depth that frightens. Look at our roster today. We have names like Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, and now these new kids are coming in to fight for a spot. The internal competition will raise everyone's level. If Rakestraw can stay healthy, our cornerback rotation will be one of the deepest in the league. The fans' verdict. My honest opinion? We're ready for the next step. Brad Holmes reinforced the trenches. O.T. Blake Miller in the 1st round was an absurdly safe pick to protect Goff. And now he shielded the backfield. We carry the weight of years of frustration, but for the first time, I don't feel like something's going to go wrong. I feel like the other teams are the ones worried about us. Detroit's future is no longer a promise. It's a reality being built now, piece by piece. The roar has never been so loud. One pride! What did you think of these additions? Do you think Abney will become a starter right away? Or will he have to work hard on special teams first?